Hey ladies and gents, welcome back. This is going to be part 4 to What If Naruto Went Rogue. That's because you guys hit the like goal. So the like goal on this video is just going to stay the same and you guys will get... Actually no, I'll put the like goal up at 150 likes. Simply because of the fact that I'm starting a new What If because I hit 5k subs. So thank you guys so much for that because, you know, I didn't really expect my channel to actually grow that big. I was expecting a lot smaller, but thank you guys so much. I wasn't, expecting that to happen, and that's why I'm starting a new What If, because, I can. So, with that being said, make sure to check out my Discord. I'll leave a link to that in the description below, and let's get into basically the What If. So in the last part, we left off with Naruto basically, he killed the Leaf Village. Like, everybody inside of it other than Hinata, which he left alive. He killed almost all of his old friends, other than Hinata, and basically everybody in the Leaf Village. A lot of people seem to be mad that Naruto was that strong, but think about this. Sasuke plus, his Sharingan, everything like that. Imagine that, but when he was at the 5 Kage Summit, he also added Sage Mode on top of that. He would have absolutely decimated the Kage. And then think about, you just add a few more Kage level fighters on top of that, being like Kakashi with his MS, he would still be able to win that battle. So I think that's basically what I'm trying to explain is he would be really freaking strong. So that's why Naruto is able to take all of these people on at the same time, just because he's that powerful. So Naruto decimated the Leaf Village, and with that being said, let's just get into the new material of the What If. So now we're gonna move perspectives a little bit over to Itachi. He just found out that his brother's body was taken by Orochimaru. And, as most people would expect, he is going to be absurdly pissed by that. So, he's going to go after Orochimaru. There's no way around it, and there's no way that he wouldn't do that. Think about all of his motives and goals, and think about everything he did to try to protect his brother, and now think that Orochimaru just, took his body. So, he's going to be pissed by this, and he's just going to go and try to get Sasuke back. So, as Orochimaru is chilling in his lair, Naruto's gone at this point, he senses a disturbance. This is obviously going to be Itachi. So, obviously, Orochimaru would begin fighting with Itachi because there's no way he would be able to really, avoid a battle with him because, what would he be able to do? And at this point, Orochimaru hasn't, awakened the Mangekyo at this point just because, there wouldn't be really a way for him to do that at this point. So, he just has a 3-Tomo Sharingan. But he would probably be a lot more powerful than Sasuke would be during his battle with Itachi. However, Itachi was definitely holding back in that battle, along with Orochimaru not knowing about the Totsuka Blade. So, say he does the same thing he did in the original, just entering his Hydra mode to be like, you think such a wimpy sword? Oh shit. Realizing that, any hit from it would kill him. So, Orochimaru would most likely die in this battle, leaving Itachi alive, but probably with some more MS use and nearly blind, just, kind of things like that. And then Itachi would start developing hatred and, trying to go, get revenge against Naruto, too, because he's, half the reason that that Orochimaru even got Sasuke's body in the first place. So, he's pissed at him. He's gonna be like, okay, well, I'm going after this kid now, even though, he's so... Yeah, and he would also be mad at him for completely eradicating the Leaf Village completely by himself. However, he probably would know at the same time that he might not be strong enough to take on Naruto at this point, but that doesn't really matter. Come on, it wouldn't, Naruto's pretty easily going to be able to take down Itachi when or if Itachi would end up going for him. The only people that would pose any amount of a threat towards Naruto would be Obito, Obito and, Madara if Obito decided to use the Reni Rebirth on Madara. So, with that being said, that's kind of the only thing that could actually happen at this point. There is one of two things. Obito would declare the Fourth World War pretty much just against Naruto, and I don't even know, would Naruto even take that? Naruto might go onto the side of Obito. Think about that, because there's a lot of different options and possibilities here, because Naruto's personality and mindset in this What If are very different from what he would normally be. Obviously, in the original, he would side with the Allied Ninja Nations, but he probably wouldn't, because he's planning on eradicating the world and rebuilding it up anew. He might just join Obito. Or maybe he'd be his own, solo part of the war, facing off against both of them who would wage war on him and, each other. I'm going to say that's probably what he would do, simply because he in this what if kind of runs solo. He doesn't really do anything with other people. So I don't really see a reason for him to not, there's no reason for him to actually join Obito and Madara or join the allied nations. He would basically fight this battle completely by himself. So, with that being said, Naruto is, he's going to fight completely by himself after Obito declares the ninja war when there's a 4 Kage summit, I guess, because, there's only 4 ninja villages at this point because, the Leaf Village is kind of gone. Which is mainly what they were discussing, but then Obito showed up and he's just like, this is a perfect opportunity. A perfect opportunity to declare war. Just think about that. All 5 of the nations basically teamed up against, Obito, with the Leaf Village being some of the stronger shinobi there, including, Naruto being there and, people like that. So, they're to have a much more difficult time against Obito, but at the same time, Obito wouldn't have Kabuto and all of his reanimations and everything like that. So, that would probably honestly even out, and the war would go pretty similarly. All of the whatever the hell white Zetsus would get sealed away, and it would actually go pretty smoothly for the allied nations until eventually they started getting pushed back once Obito actually himself entered the battlefield with his 6 Jinchuriki that, he managed to capture pretty easily. The only ones he hasn't managed to capture yet are the 8 Tails B and Naruto, obviously, because I don't really see him having a way to capture Naruto at this point, at least not yet. Or he probably, maybe he could capture Naruto, but, it would be really difficult for him to actually, manage to do that. So, with that, Naruto starts fighting against all the other people, with him pretty easily being able to take on pretty much anybody he went into contact with. The only people who would pose literally any challenge to him, otherwise it would be like a Madara versus all of those, shinobi like that, would be people like the Kage, like the Raikage, and everybody like that. Maybe even, I don't even know. I was going to say maybe people like Gaara, but I don't even think he would be able to do anything, to be honest. Because remember, Naruto soloed the Leaf Village. He soloed frickin' Jiraiya, Hiruzen, come on, there's no way that anybody's going to be able to do anything. And in the last part, people also got mad. They're like, what do you mean? If Guy entered the 8th gate, he would absolutely decimate Naruto. It's like, yeah, he would, but he didn't enter the 8th gate. He didn't see a reason to enter the 8th gate yet, because he hasn't, he was one of the first people to die, and it was just, there was no time to enter the 8th gate. All of a sudden, Naruto pulled out a sword and chopped his head off. There was nothing Guy could have done in that situation. That's all I'm saying. Come on, bro. Come on. So, Naruto faces off against, pretty much everybody else. And eventually, the battle just kind of devolves into Naruto versus Obito, and then the other, basically, team has to clean up the scraps that is the, rest of the villages. So, their battle would basically begin with them facing off against one another, with Naruto charging at Obito. Naruto tries to throw a punch, but he phases straight through Obito. And he notices this, and he notices that he's going to have to figure out how to get around this and how to time it well. He's trying to think of a way that he can do this, but he doesn't really have a teleportation method. Kind of like how Minato managed to pretty easily manage to overcome this power. Naruto doesn't have the same power that Minato did to actually be able to do that. And he also doesn't have the Kamui that Kakashi had to be able to counter, Obito's Kamui. So what Naruto would have to do is just time it absolutely perfectly. When Obito is about to, try to deal some damage to him, Naruto would have to be faster than Obito and be able to hit him in that very small percentage of time that Obito would actually be materialized. So Naruto tries to take advantage of this. He's throwing a punch, but it's actually a bluff. As Naruto's throwing the punch, his hand goes straight through Obito, obviously. But as soon as it exits, Obito materializes once again, and he basically is about to slit Naruto's throat with a kunai. However, Naruto's left hand was prepared for this, as it, slams forward, outspeeding Obito, and it sends Obito flying. Basically, Naruto punches his gut, sending him flying backwards. Naruto's already in Sage Mode at this point, and he basically needs to figure out how he's going to actually finish this battle. Because, yeah, he could do that a few times, and he would do a pretty decent amount of damage to Obito, but it wouldn't be enough to actually, take him down or anything. Naruto realizes something. He might need the cooperation of the Nine-Tails for this, because Sage Mode is stronger than any form of Nine-Tails that he can control, because he can only go up to the 4 Tails. But if he maybe got the cooperation of the QB, then he could get even stronger because, 4 tails is a much, smaller difference than 9 tails. Like, it's in the name. So with that, Naruto basically is like, okay, well, I know what I need to do now, at least. So with that, Naruto enters his mindscape again, and he begins talking to Kurama. And Kurama obviously would not be completely down to just be like, yeah, whatever, I'll give you my stuff now. Like, Naruto isn't just going to instantly, like, yeah, I want your chakra. No, he's gonna have to do, like, the whole, like, fighting for the chakra thing that he did in the original to get Kurama's chakra. Except this time it would be much easier, because, he's really freaking strong. So Naruto manages to take down Kurama. Like, again, it would be pretty easy for him to do so because, like, remember his original Sage Mode was able to? Yeah, this is like Naruto, but, like, say he went, like, Sage Mode, and then he went Sage Mode on top of that. That's how strong he is at this point. So he'd pretty easily be able to take down the Nine Tails and then, siphon the chakra from it. He might have to do the thing where he, like, meets his mother or, something like that, but he would pretty easily still be able to defeat the Nine Tails. Either way, either or. So Naruto gains that pool of chakra and can enter KCM 1. And with that, it would give him a massive edge in his fight with Obito. With Obito being on the defensive almost the entire time. Him, like, just basically staying materialized and hoping that Naruto couldn't punch him consistently enough to get basically over that 5 time limit. So Naruto keeps on punching, and keeps on punching until eventually something starts fading. His power starts to weaken a little bit as the orange chakra that's surrounding him begins to fade. And he realizes that he has a pretty strict time limit on his form. So Naruto creates a shadow clone. It goes and it sits down and it enters Sage Mode. It then obviously would pop and Naruto gets into Sage Mode having that, like, knowledge and, chakra absorbed into himself. He continues on his fight with Obito because obviously he would need Sage Mode to be able to do literally anything against him. So they continue on battling until eventually Obito is, they're kind of like switching back and forth, but Obito has a little bit of a advantage in this because Naruto isn't in KCM anymore, and he'd probably be a little bit weakened from the fact that he was fighting on a higher level than what Obito was, simply because of the fact that Obito just kept basically warping in and out between Naruto's punches, whereas Naruto was in KCM just trying to do any kind of damage to Obito. And Obito knows that Naruto already has a pretty decent counter to his jutsu because of his, because of the fact that he has, faster movement speed than Obito. So he knows that he needs to do something about this situation. So what does he do? He retreats. For the time being, he's going to retreat. He's going to figure out some type of way to revive, good old-fashioned Madara, and then he's just going to, have Madara on his side, and then both of them together would be pretty... He knows that they would together be able to take down this version of Naruto. But that's where I'm going to lose part off. So I'll see you guys in the last part. Peace out. Or next part. And actually it might be the last part. I'm not sure. But peace out. Bye.